What's up, everybody? My name is Cameron Smith, and welcome to Rising Up, where we highlight people that are in our Rise community that are winning and having success personally and professionally in the martial arts industry. Super excited for one of our special guests today. He is the general manager at Premier Martial Arts in Wildwood, Missouri. His name is Dominic Lancaster. Young guy, but has over 13 years of martial arts experience, including Taekwondo, Ishinru, and competing in sport martial arts as well. You are in for a treat with today's interview. And let's also mention as well, he's proof as to why martial artists are some of the best looking athletes in the world. So I'm super excited for today's interview. You guys, let's jump into it with Dominic. All right. Hey, Dominic, thanks so much for joining us today, man. Excited to have you on. Thanks for agreeing to do this.
Absolutely. I'm excited.
So let's hop right into it. Obviously, you've been in the martial arts industry for a while now. You've had a lot of success, and that's the reason why we wanted to bring you on and be able to just have a short little conversation with you today. So let's just kind of dive right into the questions. First question I got for you is, what initially drew you to martial arts, and how would you say that that passion that you have for martial arts itself has actually helped you as a professional in the industry?
Yeah, I think my introduction to martial arts wasn't tied to any sort of specific story. It wasn't like I wanted to be a Ninja Turtle. It was really my dad had done it as a kid, and
Yeah.
I'd always wanted to be like him. And when I was looking for a sports try, it was martial arts that he suggested, and that's really why I started it. At the time, I was also dealing with a little bit of like bullies at school. I had a speech impediment, couldn't talk, so he wanted to make sure I could defend myself. But it
Yeah.
wasn't really until I competed for the first time that I realized it was more than just an activity. For me, it was like a passion. I loved the process of working hard and improving and seeing that effort pay off in the form of competitions. It gave me a real sense of purpose and confidence that I hadn't really felt before.
Yeah.
And the turning point that in making martial arts my career was when Brett first invited me out to teach at his new school that had just opened. And at first, I wasn't great at teaching and I actually hated it. But then I started to see how the kids looked up to me as a role model and seeing the impact I was having on them. And that was like a new and powerful feeling for 16-year-old me. And
Yeah.
that combined with the joy of staying connected to the sport that I had poured so much of my time into already made me realize that it was something I wanted to do as a career. Not just because I loved the sport, but because I loved the difference I could make in others' lives.
I love that, man. And you touched on a point there about when you competed, how that brought out a different level of confidence in you. And it's very similar to my story as well. Like my very first competition, I remember it still until this day. Definitely not an ideal experience. I remember my first sparring match. I got my butt whooped like 7-0 in like 30 seconds. Like it's done. It was over like that. But after I, continued the journey of competition, I started realizing what I was capable of, and it brought out a different level of confidence in myself. And just like you said, like that's kind of like one of those pivotal moments in your journey where you start realizing what it is you can truly accomplish. So with that, share with us a success story that you've had along the years. And I know there's probably so many of them. And obviously, as an instructor, a lot of your success stories aren't even just your own. It's actually the story of your students as well. And, the success that you've been able to have through them. But share with us, just a success story that you've had over the years that you still remember to this day and what made that special for you.
Yeah, I've been competing for a long time, and I when I was thinking about it, as you said that, the instantly what came to mind is a lot of competition things,
Yeah.
but then you had mentioned that, students and seeing the first time one of my own students that I had trained up from white belt to all the way through their ranks, seeing that first time that they went out to a competition and they won, that was huge for
Yeah.
me. Another big moment that stands out to me is the first time I had won on stage at a NASCA 6A event. It was a huge milestone for me because I was up against competitors I'd been chasing all year, guys on big name teams with very impressive reputations.
Yeah.
And as an unseeded competitor and not part of a major team, it felt like the odds were always kind of stacked against me.
Yeah.
But when the scores came back and I saw that I'd won, but not only won, but like won with all nines from a panel of judges that I had really respected, that victory wasn't so much about the trophy or winning the division. It was more of a testament to the hard work and dedication, belief in myself that brought me to that moment. And it proved to me and maybe to others that skill and persistence could overcome any perceived disadvantage. And
Yeah.
that experience is something I'll never forget. It really solidified like my confidence as a competitor and it really motivated me and continues to motivate me to push forwards.
Yeah, and you talked about not being on a highly ranked team or highly well-known team or things like that, and you kind of play the underdog in that story. And I always believe that out of the successes that we have, we can't really truly enjoy those or even experience those without going through some hardships and some challenges that we have to overcome and go through in order to get there. So also touch a little bit on just, maybe some of the challenges that you've had along your journey, whether that be you as a martial arts practitioner or you as a professional in the industry. What's a challenge that really sticks out to you that you feel like has kind of shaped who you are? You've either at least, learned and experienced from that or a lesson from that that still helps you to this day? What would one of those challenges be that sticks out to you?
I think the biggest challenge and the one that sticks out the most is, I had kind of mentioned when I first started teaching, I hated it.
Yeah,
And that was because I simply wasn't able to speak in front of others. Like I had a really big fear of judgment. I think I
yeah,
dealt with a little bit of imposter syndrome, which is, very common. Which it made it really hard for me to know what to say and how to lead a class. But Brett's mentorship was absolutely crucial in helping me get through that. He didn't just tell me what to do. He actively helped me through role playing examples and just being there every day to guide me. And
yeah,
one of the biggest things that I took from Brett, aside from his exact words and phrases, was his energy and
yeah.
his approach to teaching. He brought so much expertise into every lesson that he did, and it was just something that I tried to mirror when I first started.
Yeah. Man, it's so huge to have a strong role model as a leader and
Yeah,
as an instructor that you can kind of follow in their footsteps and really mimic until you master, right? Like for me, that was Aaron. Uh,
yeah,
Being able to like watch somebody so dynamic and passionate and energetic on the floor and having to overcome my own insecurities and challenges and struggles about being an instructor, being able to just follow someone's lead like that. And I don't know if you did this, but I know like this is something I did. I literally just almost kind of like took on the same persona basically like, hey, let me just mimic this guy,
yeah,
do exactly what
absolutely.
he does, because if it's working it works, right?
Yeah,
And then as I get better at it, as I start to master it, then I can start to tweak it and make it my own. But
yeah.
why reinvent the wheel when somebody is already having success doing it? And for you, how would you say Brett's influence on you, not just as a person but obviously as a professional as well, how would you say his influence and impact on your life has gotten you to where you are right now?
Yeah, Brett has been so influential in my life. He has done so much. I could stand here and talk about how great Brett is for hours. He's
Yeah,
done so much for me. But just his constant mentorship, nothing was everything that I did, it was always could you do better? It was just nothing at face value. It was, yeah, that was good, but where are we going? Like
yeah,
it was really cool. And you kind of mentioned too, as time went on, I found my own voice.
yeah,
But there wasn't a real single moment that like I know where it was like now I can do it.
yeah,
But if I had to pick one, it was the first time I had taught classes by myself, and it was a night Brett was out. I was, maybe 16 years old, and it was a true sink or swim moment. It was like I
yeah,
had to figure it out, and doing that on my own made me realize it was something I was more capable of than I thought. And that sink or swim mentality is something that Brett is real good at. He's
yeah,
gonna throw you in the water. And looking back, it was one of the best things for me.
yeah,
Overcoming that challenge, shaped how I lead my team now and how I work with my leadership. I've been in their shoes, so I understand what they're going through. I know what's running through their minds. I know the struggles that they face, and that experience helps me be a little bit more empathetic and supportive as a leader, just like Brett was to me.
for sure. And that kind of leads us right into the next question. Obviously, Brett had a major impact and influence in your life, but now you're in the position where you get to do that for the next generation of leaders and martial artists as well. So obviously, you're making a strong impact right now in your studio and in your community. What would you say just keeps you motivated each day to keep showing up, keep giving your best, and keep pushing forward? Like, what's that motivation for you right now?
Yeah, what motivates me the most, and this is something I think about quite often, is I see a little bit of myself in each and every student that I teach.
Yeah,
It's not just about teaching martial arts. It's about recognizing the challenges that, maybe I faced as a kid and understanding what I would have needed or what I struggled with. And that helps me see, where certain students might need more guidance and just knowing that I can provide that or provide
yeah,
what I needed at that age is a really special thing for me, and it's a big part of wanting to be a positive role model for these kids, someone they can look up to. I try to do that every day, by connecting with them personally, ask about how their day was going. If they get a haircut, comment on it, or even remembering little details about them, like what school they attend.
Yeah.
Brett's really did that. We have, over 150 students and 30 schools in our area, and he could tell you exactly where each and every one of our students goes to school and what grade they're in. That's a really special thing, and those small connections go a long way. And I think
Yeah.
another big source of my motivation is just my constant drive to be the best, be the best version of myself. I think that's something I've always had, but I know my dad brought it out in me more and more as I grew up. My dad was a perfectionist, whether it was his job or cooking or
Yeah.
woodworking, it had to be perfect. And that mindset has been very beneficial to me. But I also think about like the lasting impact of what I do. The community starts with the next generation, and by making a difference in the lives that I teach, I can kind of see that ripple effect, more positive role models as these kids grow. And that's something that I can be really proud of, is
Yeah.
just raising up that next generation. And that's
Shoot.
that's what kind of motivates me the most.
That's awesome, man. I love that. I love that. And, you guys have had a lot of success. And obviously, you've been working with our team for a little bit now, and we've seen a lot of growth in you guys. So let me ask you this as another question. When you hear the word rise, right? What does that mean to you? How would you personally define it to someone about, kind of tying in what rise is?
I like to think of Rise as like a mean older brother, in the best way possible. Aaron says it all the time. You're either gonna hate me or you're gonna love me. And over time,
Yes.
I've definitely come to understand why. The Rise team, it's hard on you, and it's not because they want to cut you down or they don't like you. It's because they see potential in you, or I say you, but you guys, you see the best in people, and it's often through that hard coaching that gets you to the next level. It's tough love, but it's always rooted in wanting the best for you. They hold you accountable. They don't let you settle for anything less than what you're capable of. And in a way, it's like, I feel like you guys are saying, I know you can do better, and I'm going to make sure that you do. It's
Yeah.
that push, even when it's uncomfortable, that makes you better, not just professionally and personally too.
Yeah. Definitely that uncomfortable feeling is very true. A lot of people can't handle that kind of pressure, that kind of truth. But in reality, it's that like that's what you need in order for you to grow. Because as human beings, we're going to fall back to our comfort zone, right? Like we're going to go back to doing what's comfortable for us. And it's very unlikely for us to want to push through those boundaries without somebody being there in our corner to kind of help us realize what it is we're capable of. So, that same pressure that we apply on you guys to be your best and, do what we know you're capable of becoming, a lot of people can't handle that kind of truth. They can't handle that kind of pressure, and they ultimately revert back to those old ways. But man, when you find those diamonds in the rough like you guys that take the advice and instead of taking it personally, you understand that it's coming from a place of love and you actually go take action on it, then you start seeing the results. And now it's kind of like earning your black belt. Like you earn your black belt and you realize one, you don't know as much as you thought you knew, right? But then two, you realize that you're capable of more than what you actually originally thought. So it's just, I love kind of how you phrase that and how you tied in that, hey, they're going to be hard on you. It's going to be uncomfortable, but it's because they love you and it's because they can see the best in you and what you're actually capable of accomplishing.
Yeah.
And, we teach a lot of lessons, throughout all of our coaching calls and all of that, but through all the lessons and principles and everything that, we give to you guys and feed to you guys, how have you incorporated some of those in your own professional and personal life?
Yeah. I think the biggest things I can kind of say there is be relentless and be restless. Those are the big principles I take from Rise,
I like that.
and I apply those directly to my personal and professional journey. One of the most impactful and ideas that you guys really push is that if your dream should keep you up at night, and if it doesn't, you're not dreaming big enough. And for me, that means constantly evaluating my goals and ensuring I'm putting in the work to make them a reality. It's
Yeah.
not it's about, chasing that dream relentlessly, never stopping, always doing what I can to move closer to achieving it, whether that's in martial arts or leadership or personal growth. I try to maintain that mindset of being relentless, be restless. And that's what I really get from Rise. Those are big principles I take.
I love that. Be relentless, be restless. And dude, you are both of those because I see you pushing hard every single moment. I mean, congratulations again on just earning your second degree black belt as well.
Thank you.
Massive accomplishment. And if a lot of people don't know, the details of your story, like even starting from, being an instructor, and then I remember when we had the conversation about you taking on the role of becoming a sales manager. Now you're general manager. Like, dude, the growth from you, and you're only how old?
I'm 21. I just turned 21 in September.
21 years old to already have the experience and the mindset that you have. Like, that's what I love about the martial arts is, people see the extreme stuff, the punches and the kicks, and they see the athleticism, like they see all of that. But a lot of people don't realize like the real growth that's happening, especially for teens, young adults, kids.
Yeah.
Like, go to a martial arts tournament and talk to some of these kids that are competing that are really serious about what they do. You would think you're talking to someone, 5, 10 years older than what they currently
Mhm.
are, just because of the maturity that grows out of the hardships, the challenges they have to overcome, and the self-discovery that happens through the process. And obviously, when you get to a position like yours, where it's not just helping you in your personal life, but now it's starting to shape your professional future as well. Like, man, that's what I love about what it is we get to do and what we get to be a part of each day. So thanks again for being a part of this, for sharing your story with us. Like, I truly appreciate it. And I love working with you, Brett. I love you guys, and you guys are working hard. And I'm like, this is still just the beginning for you. Like, I'm
Absolutely.
excited for what's coming in the future for you guys. And I know you are as well. So do you have any last little tidbits, knowledge, anything like that you would want to share before we get ready to wrap this thing up?
Um, thinking about the sales position role, and something that really helped me with that, um, was because that's a big hurdle that I had to face was lead generation, and that's
Yeah,
another thing that people like struggle with, and a
yeah,
big thing that helped me get through that is it's not a like a one size fits all solution. It's not
yeah,
just phone calls. It's not just online marketing or events. It's about consistently doing all those things together, and the
yeah,
combination of all of that leads to success. And that's with other parts of the thing too. You just got to be consistent, and it's don't put all your focus in one thing. You got to do everything consistently,
yeah.
and that's how you become great
I love it, man.
at what
Awesome.
we do.
Well, hey, Dominic, thanks again, man. I appreciate you taking the time to be able to hop on, share this with us, and you guys will see down below. You can see where to follow him and follow his journey and the success that him and Brett are having. But hey, thanks again, man. I truly appreciate it, and let's continue to rise up and make the world a better place.